Welcome back. As you can tell, I am very clearly not, again, outside or in the garage because still the weather's not ideal. It's very, very cold and very, very snowy. So I thought I'd do something a little different. I wanted to do a bit of a video review just because I've spent a lot of time making videos and not necessarily like doing internal reviews of like my own mistakes and things that I could do better, just kind of looking over it, because I watch my own videos sometimes, but I guess not enough to a point where I'm really learning anything from watching it. I'm just kind of enjoying it. So I thought I'd watch one of my most recent stunt videos just because it wouldn't really do me any good to watch one of the older ones, considering I've made progress since those. But we're gonna watch the most recent one. We're gonna go through it. This one was thrown together because I was out with my buddy and it wasn't like an official like recording that I was doing, like previously. I just thought I'd go hang out with my buddy, do a little lot session, and yeah, let's kind of go over what goes on in this video and what I can do better. One thing I noticed straight off the bat is that in this session and like since then, I've been able to pop the bike up in first while rolling like a lot easier without much movement, which is kind of good. But I still need to work on that second gear. That one was really good. There was a couple good ones, but I noticed, and I think I mentioned it at some point. I don't remember. This was kind of funny. My buddy was over there, and he was just about to go into the laneway, and he slammed the rear brake and turned it like just in front of this car. You look just there. And you can see it scared them. They slowed down and everything because he was like right there. They scared the shit out of them. But I noticed, what I was saying is I noticed I was trying, or I guess I was focusing a little too much on trying to like keep the bar straight. You'll notice in this video specifically that I spent a lot of the time in the wheelie just kind of like moving my arms back and forth, just trying to keep the handlebar straight. And I'm not sure why my subconscious put a lot of focus onto that each time I would bring the wheel up. Obviously it's a big thing you want to make sure is straight when you come back down, but I don't know, I felt like I was focusing a little too much on it here in this session. This one just here, I went off to the left and then came down right, and that's kind of what ended up happening later in this video too. Hit my head on the mirror, and it didn't. I guess it didn't catch it on camera, but he was like his rear wheel. I saw it when I was in the wheelie. Oh, there you could see it just there. I don't know if you caught that, but his rear wheel like locked up and started just slamming against the ground. That's what he was talking about when it went bop, 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 because his chain came off.
Your chain's gone.
His chain came off. It's just this really cheap pit bike that he bought and just hasn't done any maintenance on. It's like the worst, but also the greatest possible thing ever. Like it's like a barn find, and he hasn't done like any maintenance on it. It's hilarious. He still rides it. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, we were just practicing a little bit in this lot here until security came around at some point during this, because this mall has security. I guess they didn't like us practicing. Again, it was fairly reasonable, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. I find it funny that he's one thing I noticed, even though he's not like getting the wheel up very high, on the pit bike. I noticed that it's got a lot more like torque than the Grom. It like, even in second gear, he doesn't even have to use the clutch or anything. You can just twist it all the way and it'll come off the ground. I was like, holy, it's kind of crazy. I can't even do that on my Grom, as far as I've tried. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think I've gotten a lot. Oh, there goes security now. I think I've gotten a lot better though, from like the time I started wheeling, obviously, to now. Like back when I was talking about how I literally had nobody to teach me. I just learned off of YouTube and only knew how to do it conceptually, like, you know, pulling in the clutch, giving it some throttle, and then dumping the clutch and making sure, you know, you use that rear brake.
All right.
But it's come a long way. Again, I haven't been able to get like consistent practice, unfortunately. It is what it is. It's just, there's a lot of things going on, especially with the weather now, like the way it is. I just don't get that consistent practice right now. But if you remember, I don't know if anybody's been here since the like beginning of my wheelie practice. Back when I first started, back when the bike was orange, and the first lot that I was practicing in, it was winter time, but there wasn't any snow yet. So I was able to get out semi-consistently, and eventually that snow did come down, and then the weather got better, and then the staff came back, and then I think the video's still there, but the staff basically approached me and kicked me out of the lot, so that was fun. Because it was private property, and they didn't want to be responsible if I injured myself. Because, yeah. Anyways, after security told us to move, we went to a different lot. And he wasn't practicing anymore because I didn't think he wanted to deal with his chain coming off. Because he hasn't done any maintenance on it. The rear sprocket on this bike has like no teeth. They're so worn down. It's crazy. The chain is so rusty. The sprocket, both sprockets, the whole bike just needs so much love, and it's just not getting it. Just because, not because he doesn't want to or hasn't gotten around to it. Actually, it is because he doesn't really care that much. It works. That's kind of his whole thing. If it works, it doesn't really matter. And it's not his main bike, so yeah. We came to this lot here though. And you can sort of see it. You can see it like back when I first came into the lot. This lot is very uneven. It's like wavy in a way. I don't know, it's a little hard to see, but you can sort of see it. Like it's really up and down like waves. And so it was a little hard to keep it straight, but at the same time, I had just recently put more air in my tire, and then at the previous lot we were at, I released some. I don't know how much, but I released some. Hopefully, just enough. But even still, with this parking lot, it was a little weird. And as you can see, I said, the lot's very uneven. It was hard to keep straight, but that wasn't really the main reason for going down here. As you can see, we bring it up. I'll just put it in slow playback speed just to go through this specific moment. So we bring it up straight, right? Get up there, immediately handlebars turn. And I think because I was subconsciously focusing a little too much on like the handlebar turn, it was messing with my like hip orientation and like body movement and like body positioning. So when this turned, I don't know why, but I think I pushed my body like in that same direction towards the right, and so as it turned more and more, I kind of went with it, and this is kind of what came of it. It eventually tipped over to the right, and I came down. Basically was like, oh shit, this isn't gonna be good. So I bailed, let go of the handlebars. My camera hit the handlebars, as you can see in my hand, hit the horn, and that's what knocked my mount off. And you can see just the camera go flying and the frames of me just on my ass. So I thought that was kind of funny and also crazy. No good, no good.
Bike's good.
But everything was alright. Bike was okay. I was okay. Didn't get hurt. We just got back up, gave it a little rest, and got back on the bike. And that after that one, I decided to go with the waves instead of like diagonal through the lot, so that it was, you know, not as hard to keep it straight. And each pass I did was actually really good, or fairly good, I should say. Like that one came up pretty smoothly. One thing I notice when I'm doing like practice, and as I'm talking about it now in this review, is because I spend so much time like on and off the lot and like the bike, I don't get enough like that consistent back-to-back practice like I've been talking about, right? And so each time I go back and I want to work, and I work on that like choppy throttle and smoothing out the throttle, right? I go back and then I have that choppy throttle again, and this is kind of one of those moments where like you'll sort of notice it, and like the beginning where I'm real choppy, and it'll still show like here, even that last one just now where I'm up. To be fair, this one was like up into balance point, and then I dropped it, and then, you know, picked it back up sort of thing. But I need to be smoother on the throttle. I don't want to talk too much about this, but I was like, you know what, since I'm here, I may as well try practicing my knee knocker. I only did like 2 passes with it, but this first one I just kind of sent it, and it came a lot higher off the ground than I ever thought I'd get it. And then I was like, you know, that's enough. And I will say again, it feels like I'm really far forward because of how small my bars are. Like they're really low compared to like some other bars. I just need to get the bike up towards me into like that balance point in the knee knocker, and I think it'll feel just fine. So it's just that initial like setup that feels awkward, but I think after that, and we actually get it up there, it'll be all right. And one also thing that I noticed, like way back when I practiced the knee knocker for like the first few times, it felt like my brake foot was kind of like floating on the brake. It's just, I don't know, it was a little odd, but yeah, you'll notice just me trying to keep the bar straight. And yes, I should be keeping the bar straight, but I also shouldn't focus on it too much. Like, I don't know, it's a bit of like working all of the different aspects at once evenly. You know what I mean? Like it's a different sort of practice. I don't know. You know, there's a couple different things you have to do at the same time to make sure you're good. And then these were just the angles, the side angles that he recorded when I was practicing, just because I figured it would be good to see on the side. And obviously there's some stuff in here that I didn't record on the GoPro that he caught with his phone. So like this foot down wheelie practice, I didn't do too much of this. I just kind of went around in a circle, and then that was all right. And as I say here, I noticed I put a little too much focus on trying to keep the bar straight, which in turn made my body move the bike too much, which caused me to veer left or right. And that's, you know, that's pretty much the basis as to why I crashed in this video. Like, we don't really have to watch the rest of it, but you can see, I think here, in the one where I did crash, I basically did exactly what I was talking about. I did it again. I turned the handlebars and my body with it, which wasn't the right move, so we come straight up, bars turn, and as the bars turn more and more, I turned my body with it. And obviously it was just like a really noob move, like a really amateur move, because there was a practice session I had a while back at another lot where I was working on keeping it straight with my hips and my body, and not really giving much focus on the bars themselves. And you'll see, as you know, we come up and we lean all to the right, the bike goes with it, and we do too. So that's not ideal. And there it goes. Boom. Right over the handlebars. Or actually not over the handlebars, around the handlebars. And yeah, that was interesting. But as you can see, like I was talking about in the beginning, how I don't have to do too much movement to bring the front wheel off the ground in first gear anymore. I basically found the trick to kind of getting it up in first gear rolling. So that's good. But at the same time, the biggest problem, or the biggest thing I have to work on now, is keeping it in the air. That's kind of like it's kind of my thing now, is just keeping it up. And I think it's mostly just because I'm not keeping it in balance point. Like, I'm not getting up there and staying there long enough. I'm kind of cutting it too early. We're not going as far back as we need to. So what I was trying to reference in the previous video there was the fact that when I was in this session here, where I went past balance point, like dropped back and came back in this slot, like when I was practicing here, I was noticing I was able to work on that maneuvering of the hips and like keeping the bike straight. You know what I mean? Like it comes to a point where you practice so much and then you stop and you kind of forget what you learned, sort of thing. Like, a lot of it's muscle memory, yes, but there's some things that you have to work a little harder to memorize the feeling of, and evidently that body positioning and movement was one of them that I forgot. So you'll notice that here in this video, this is where I started to learn it and I started to understand it more. So each time it would veer, you know, off to the side, I was able to, you know, correct it and readjust myself. But between the time of this video and that last one, there was a significant amount of time. Because if we look here, this video was made 2 months ago. Like, I did this practice in this lot 2 months ago, and there's been other ones since then, right? There's been this one, it was also 2 months ago. This one was a month ago. Not a bad session, actually, pretty good. But then there was this one, which was 2 weeks ago. Not bad. This was actually a pretty good one, up until, you know, just leaking oil everywhere all over the lot. And then this one, where I just kind of forgot what I was doing for most of the time. And it may have been that I forgot some things because I was riding with my buddy and we just happened to be, you know, goofing around and just kind of having fun. So that's a possibility. But in the end, I just need to work on hammering those lessons in a little harder and a little more, and just being more consistent with it at the end of the day. And when the season starts again, like, and it actually starts to get warm, I will be in the lot 24/7 pretty much every day of the week, and I'm going to get this down packed, because it has been way too long. If we go all the way back to a year ago, wow. A year ago this first video was made. An hour. This was basically when I first got the Grom, and I didn't really know what I was doing, so it was just like an hour of me doing baby wheelies. It's so funny seeing this now, because I do remember being in this moment where I could literally just barely get it off the ground, and I was just doing this constantly, It literally took hours of just baby wheelies, just back and forth to gain that confidence for me until I eventually, got higher and higher in the wheelie and then made it pretty much to where I am now. So I just think that's kind of interesting to see. You can literally hear me talk, like struggling to get it off the ground, and I was having the mental blocks of like trying to drop the clutch, and like, trying to keep my eyes forward and trying to like learn all those things all at once. It was very, very interesting time. Honestly, it was very fun. It's very fun. But yeah, and this is where I got kicked out of that lot. So, anyways, that's all I really wanted to do was review the last time I was out in the lot and what I can improve and what I should be improving and working on. But with that being said, as always, I appreciate you guys for hanging out, and I'm done.